everybody, welcome back. We seem to be getting back on track. I wanted to let you know, yes, we're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on about 11 platforms. I have no idea how many people are watching on all platforms. I'll have to go and get those stats a little bit later. But you guys know we're going to re-air these on my show, Expert Talk, as individual interviews. So that'll happen, 40 plus platforms there. And we're going to add them into podnation.tv. So that means Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. So at the end of the day, I believe last year's International Women's Day had somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 million views on all the platforms over the last year. I'm hoping we break that this year. So getting back to the show, I'm so excited. Rachel Tenenbaum is here. She's waiting in the wings. Hey, Rachel, are you out there?
Howdy.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm fantastic. I am so delighted to be here with you, Tico, today.
I'm so delighted to have you and all of the amazing women to just have you guys take out a little bit of your time and hang out with us. Come on, this is fantastic.
What's better than that?
So
a day with great women.
You are a neurotransformational coach. Did I say that right?
Yes, it's a mouthful.
And what does that mean?
So what does that even mean? Absolutely. It's a brain-based coach. So I'm trained not only as a certified coach, but also with a training and a background in leadership and development, but also in understanding how the brain works so that I can help you, my clients, understand how their brain works so that we can maximize our brains to work most efficiently and effectively. It's like having a manual, right? You get a manual when you get a new car, you get a manual to your brain so that you can, have it work better.
Awesome.
Optimize.
So what does retain your brain mean to you?
Retrain or retain?
Retrain, yeah. You retrain your brain. What does that mean to you?
To me, it means that we have a lot of habitual tendencies, right? Whether we've developed them since childhood or later in life, we have reactive tendencies. And when we can retrain and rewire our habitual reactions, we get better results. And not better results because they're just better, but because they're more aligned with what we want to experience in life.
Mm-hmm. I love acronyms. I'm actually in a book of acronyms. I'm a co-author in a book of acronyms. I noticed in your bio, you like acronyms as well. I found a couple of them, one of which is PEACE.
Yeah.
What does the PEACE acronym mean?
So I often talk with clients who are executives or leaders, CEOs, about prioritizing peace, right? And it sounds a little, it's different than what it actually is, right? And for me, prioritizing peace is we cannot control someone else, ever. Right? We cannot always control circumstances. We can do our best, but oftentimes we'll spend more time fighting with others or fighting with circumstances than maintaining our inner peace and looking for another alternative route in a way that is far more effective and beneficial for ourselves, the situation, our organizations as a whole. So it's about prioritizing our peace so that we can see and think more clearly to get the results that we hope to engender.
That's an amazing way to put that. And what made you decide to turn that into an acronym? And it rings in your brain for sure. Absolutely. I understand that. But when you sat there, you said, this is an acronym. What made you decide to do that?
I think it was through a little bit of play, right? It's like, how can I give you effective steps and tools over the course of time that you can use, that you can remember with ease, so that you can remember to prioritize your peace. So peace isn't just about the prioritization of peace, but it's about the how. And it was very simple and easy when we looked at the letters of peace to apply tools that I've been teaching for years.
So what is the next acronym that I found? AWARE. What does that acronym mean? And tell me the story behind it. How did you get started? What made you say, this is a good one, I'm going to drop this one in my bio?
To me, and from all the research that I've done with clients, more importantly, is that awareness is huge, right? The more aware that we are of ourselves, the more aware that we can be of our relationship, what's going on for someone else, and then how we want to respond to again engender the results that we desire. So all of this is about, one of the greatest gifts that we can give the world, and in order to show up as a powerful leader and a powerful CEO, is to be aware of what's going on for us so that we can actually be aware of what's going on for our direct reports, for the people in our organization on a bigger scope, what's going on outside, right? And knowing and being able to see and pull all those pieces together to move in the direction that you desire.
How do you deal with negative self-talk and how do you help your clients work their way through negative self-talk?
First, you got to become aware of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's part of the aware bit, right? Just the awareness is huge. And once you become aware, I love to to anthropomorphize them, to see them as characters and to name them, right? We can have different characters in our heads. They can be called saboteurs or mind monkeys or gremlins. But the more that you can see them as separate and disassociate from them, the more you can be in conversation with them. And so instead of feeling like you are, Michael Singer says, you're not the voice of the mind, you're just the one that hears it. And the more that you can become aware that you're just hearing stuff and you can distance yourself from what it is that you're hearing. And these voices are influences from our parents, from society, from people that we surrounded ourselves with, old bosses, right? And the more that we can start to really distinguish where that voice is coming from and that they're not actually who we are, the more that we can be response able rather than just blindly reacting to those voices. I kind of see it as when we just blindly react to and do everything they say, it's like letting a 5-year-old sit behind the wheel of a car of our life and drive the car. It's like they say they know what they're doing, but if you let them drive the car, you're going to end up in a pileup on the nearest interstate. It's just not an effective way to drive the car of your life. So it's like, you know what? You actually belong in the back seat. I hear you. I acknowledge you, but you don't get to drive the car. You don't get to get behind the wheel.
How important is meditation?
You're touching on something that for me, it's essential. And for many of my clients too, even the very type A ones that'll come to me and they'll say, you come very highly recommended. I know you're excellent and I'm not going to meditate, right? I have a couple of clients who will start our relationship that way. And I'm like, we'll see about that. Meditation is huge because when we talk about peace and we talk about aware, it is such a huge tool that enables you to become more aware. I always teach in meditation, first you're present, second your mind goes for a little walk, right? You can be in a boardroom, you go someplace else, or your mind gets hijacked by one of those voices that you're talking about, one of those negative thoughts, right? Third, you become aware. There's a little light bulb that goes on in the back of your head that says, ooh, in meditation, I'm not meditating. In life, it says, ooh, I'm someplace else. And that's the most brilliant moment, both in meditation and in life, because now that you're aware, you can choose to do something new. You can choose a different reaction or a different response. And so in meditation, it's unhooking and coming back to your breath, coming back to the guided meditation, whatever it is. In life, it's unhooking, coming back to the meeting and to the boardroom, right? Or taking a deep breath and responding differently to the trigger that just happened. And every time that you meditate, that's going to happen multiple times, right? You sit for 3 minutes. It can happen 100 times. Mind wanders, you notice it, you bring it back. And it's like going to the gym. So you're building that muscle so that when life happens, it's far easier to be response able, to be aware, to unhook from that thought and to pivot.
If someone is watching, because I know there are many young women and women out there going that they've heard they should meditate, they've heard great things about it. Yeah. Even Oprah talked about it for a while there, and they have no idea how to get started. What would you recommend for them to be able to just get started? What's the first step?
Sit and breathe. I mean, the first step, it depends on the individual, right? But I say start with 2 minutes, start with 3. It doesn't have to be this huge endeavor, which I feel is often a big stalwart for many people. It's like, I don't have 10 minutes. Well, we all have 10 minutes, but still, it's like, I don't have 10 minutes. I don't have 15 minutes. It's like, it just takes 2 minutes, 2 minutes of practicing every day. You can put on a song, that is calming and relaxing, that doesn't trigger thoughts. Insight Timer is a phenomenal app that I do love, and I'm also on Insight Timer. My meditations are on there. You can listen to me or anyone else for a couple of minutes. Notice when your mind wanders and just bring it back. Notice when it wanders and bring it back.
What does International Women's Day mean to you?
It's a representation. It's a representation, just as Veterans Day or any of the other days that we celebrate that are so important. It's a day to remember and to celebrate, to be in collaboration with, to support. But it's also a reminder that this is something that we should look to do and we can hope to do every day of our lives, right? To respect and to uphold everyone as a collective.
What do you do to have fun? Just let your hair down, relax, have fun. What's that one thing? Hey, I love that. What's that one thing you do?
So let your hair down, you know. The one thing that's really difficult, I love skiing. Anything outdoors.
Water or snow?
Snow. I mean, it's been a really long time since I've gone water skiing, but I would love that too. I love skiing and I love being outside in nature, playing with my pup. You know, he's always around with me. But those are things that really nourish me, and laughter and friends. I can blend all those together. I bring my friends with me on my hikes with my pup. Nothing's better than that.
Now, there's a lot of people out there, women and men, kids, all ages, that are saying they don't have time for fun. They don't have time for meditating. They don't have time for anything except life. And mainly they're just doing the same. They're on that hamster wheel. Yeah, they're doing that same thing over and over and over again. How important is fun in their lives?
So essential. It rewires and changes your brain, right? When we get caught on that hamster wheel, again, we're creating the same neural pathways and we're reinforcing we don't have time. And you can probably have all the evidence in the world that you don't have time. And if you give yourself 5 minutes to meditate or 3 minutes to meditate, or you carve out a couple times a month or once a month, 30 minutes to do something that fills you up, it actually changes the chemistry of your brain. It enables something called the default mode, which is when we get our brilliant ideas. And so to me, fun is essential for living our best life because that's what we're here to do. We're here to live, right? And to enjoy and to, for me, it's optimize, always. Optimize our lives and optimize what we have to offer this world.
Rachel, I want to thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me, for being a part of International Women's Day, for putting up with all our technical difficulties and the crazy duck with the headache. It's probably somewhere meditating right now, trying to get its act together. Because good grief, this is not the time when you have one interview and there's a problem. Okay, 29? No.
It's like the worst nightmare. That's when you need to, right? But that's when you need to be able to take a deep breath, because otherwise you're going to be freaking out. And when
I'm going to meditate at lunch. I'll tell you that right now. But I thank you so much for being on, and I hope you enjoy the rest of International Women's Day.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me, Tigo.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be with you. Bye.
Bye-bye.